Hi, welcome back to ESL English Practice, when we are looking at learning English as a second language for IELTS specifically, but also with TOEFL, IGCSE, Pearson English and other proficiency tests. Press the thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more like this, and check out the playlist with all of my ESL videos on it. Today we are continuing with IELTS listening. In my previous video we looked at section 1 of an IELTS listening test, and in this video we are going to start with section 2 and continue with the same test. First, let's look at the question sheet for section 2, and we are doing questions 11 to 17 first. So we're going to listen to some information about a sea life centre. So this is a kind of aquarium or zoo for sea creatures. The instruction says write no more than 3 words for each answer. So the answer could be 1 word, 2 word or 3 words, but if you write more than 3 words, your answer will be marked as incorrect. So make sure you don't write too much. Question 11. What was the Sea Life Centre previously called? So for this one, the word previously might be a key word. We might need to look for a synonym for that word. And previously called, so what was its name in the past? Number 12. What is the newest attraction called? Newest means most recent or most recently opened. Then number 13. When is the main feeding time? So here we must need a time. Perhaps it's in the morning or the afternoon. We might need a specific number. Question 14. What can you do with a VIP ticket? So they might say something you can do with a normal ticket. We need the VIP one. Number 15. What special event will the Sea Life Centre arrange for you? Arrange, organise. What event or occasion? And number 16. Where will the petition for animal conservation be sent to? So a petition is where people sign their name onto something to say they want something to change. Animal conservation is when we look after wild animals. So we're getting people to write their names on this piece of paper and send it somewhere. Then 17, what can you use to test what you have learnt? So learn things at the centre, and there's somewhere where you can test. Then questions 18 to 20. What does the guide say about each attraction? Choose 3 answers from the box and write the correct letter A to E next to questions 18 to 20. So A is aquarium, B crocodile cave, C penguin park, D seal centre, and E turtle town. 18. You must not miss which one. So you have to write A, B, C, D or E in here. Which one must you not miss? So if you must not miss the aquarium, for example, you'd write A here. One of them is temporarily closed. Temporarily means only for now. It will open again soon. But which one is temporarily closed? And where might you find large queues? So number 20, there are large queues for which one? Now they will probably say all of these things at some point in the recording. Some of them will be there to try and catch you out. So make sure you don't get fooled by the distractors. Right, let's listen now and write down the answers to these questions.
Okay, so hi everybody and welcome to the Sea Life Centre. Before you start on your tour, I'd just like to give you some information about things to look out for as you go. Well, first of all, I guess some of you may have been here before and may be surprised to see the name has changed. We're not called World of Water anymore. Since the beginning of this summer, we've been renamed, and we've also made a few other changes.
Okay, so they mentioned renamed, and they said we're not called something anymore. So that is where the previous name of the Sea Life Centre is. So she said it was called World of Water. I'm putting capital letters in as it's a name, but of course capital letters are not critical in the listening test. On to the next part. What is the newest attraction called?
However, the main attractions like the aquarium, the crocodiles, the penguins and so on are still here. But we have a new restaurant and picnic area, and the latest thing that we have, and it was only finished last week, is the splash ride. This is an exciting new area of the centre.
Right, so there's lots of words there and lots of distractors talking about things that are still there, and there's a new restaurant and picnic, but the latest thing that they've added that's only opened last week is something called the splash ride. That's the answer we're looking for number 12. Let's continue.
As I said, the main attractions are still here, and the most popular thing that everyone wants to see is feeding time, especially for the crocodiles and the seals. We used to have the main feeding time in the afternoon at around 3 p.m, but we found that some of the animals got a bit hungry waiting until then, and so we now have it at noon. They seem much happier with the new time.
Okay, so the distractor was at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. That is not when it is held now. They've changed it. They've made it earlier. So she said noon. And noon, of course, is 12 o'clock midday. So a few different ways you could say that. So the main feeding time is now at noon. Next part.
Now, I'd like to mention something new that we've introduced this year that we're very excited about. It's called a VIP ticket. The VIP ticket costs an extra £2 per person, and you will be amazed at what it allows you to do. With this, you'll be allowed to feed the sharks. Now, I know that for some people, this might be quite a frightening thing to do, but it is perfectly safe.
So what's this thing that we can do with our VIP ticket? It only costs an extra £2. Right, and remember, no more than 3 words. So we're going to put feed the sharks. You can feed the sharks if you have a VIP ticket. Next.
For those of you who are a bit unsure, we do have a video you can watch to see what happens. It's a great experience, and your friends will be very impressed. Speaking of friends, I'd just like to remind you that the Sea Life Centre will be more than happy to organise a birthday party for you and your family and friends. If you need more details, you can speak to me afterwards, and there are also forms at the entrance.
Okay, so there we had the name of a special event. They can arrange your birthday party. 2 words there, that's all we need. Quite straightforward, that one. So let's move on to number 16.
I'd also like to bring your attention to the good work that the Sea Life Centre is doing in support of animal conservation. I'm sure you're all aware of the worrying situation with a large number of species facing extinction. Here at the Sea Life Centre, we're taking action by asking as many people as possible to sign a petition. Once we have over 5,000 signatures, we are planning to send it to the government in the hope that more people will begin to take it seriously.
Right, so we talked about the petition and what it's for, and they said once we have enough signatures, we hope to send it to the government. The government, make sure you have the N in the middle. This is a word that is often misspelled. Let's go on to number 17.
Right. Well, there's obviously a lot going on at the centre and a lot of things to discover. At all the attractions, there is helpful information, so please read as much as you can, and if you want to see what you've remembered, please do the quiz after your visit. There are no prizes, of course, but I'm sure you'll be surprised by how much you've learnt.
So learnt, remembered. At the end you can do a quiz. Q-U-I-Z, there is the answer. So do the quiz to see what you have learnt. Very good. Right, let's move on to the next part. So 18 to 20, what does the guide say about each attraction? Let's listen to this part.
So, before I leave you all to start your tour, I've just got a few tips. There are a large number of attractions, and you may not have time to see them all. Of course, there are the old favourites like the aquarium and the crocodile cave, but if you don't have time to see everything, make sure you visit Turtle Town, which is beyond the aquarium and the seal centre. This is very special and has a large number of endangered species, and as it's at the far corner of the Sea Life Centre, it often gets overlooked.
Right, so for number 18 we had vocabulary like overlooked, which is another way of saying missed. So which one were they talking about that you must see? It was E, Turtle Town. So they started with distractors, saying the aquarium and crocodile cave, but her recommendation was Turtle Town.
I also have to apologise for the penguin park. This has needed some urgent work to be done, and so will not be open for the next week. We're very sorry about this, but I'm sure you'll find the Seal Centre, which is directly opposite it, will keep you entertained just as much, if not more.
Right, here we mentioned the Seal Centre can keep you entertained, but the one that is temporarily closed is Penguin Park. So she says it's not open for the next week. The next week implies it's temporary. Now, where are these large queues?
We're also very busy today, as you may have noticed on your way in. Everyone starts here at the aquarium, but as it's so big, there's no waiting to get in. But today, we're expecting a lot of people to want to see the crocodile cave, as a couple of eggs have hatched out. So expect delays there, and, if you like, move on to the Seal Centre first, and then go back when things are quieter, towards the end of the day.
Okay, so for this one, she did say that the aquarium is very busy, but it is also spacious, so there aren't any queues. The queues instead would be at Crocodile Cave, because there are some eggs which have hatched. So answers for this section we need E, C and B. Let me just go to the answer page. Right, so number 11 was World of Water, and again capital letters or no capital letters, both are acceptable. Then number 12 is Splash Ride, or you could say the Splash Ride, is both fine. Number 13, now you could say noon, midday, 12 o'clock, 12 p.m, all of these variations are acceptable. Number 14, Feed the Sharks, or even Feed Sharks without the, is both fine. Number 15, a birthday party. 16, government or the government. 17, quiz, and you could say the quiz or a quiz, or just quiz. And then E, C, B for the multiple choice. Excellent. In this section, we're going to listen to two students talking about university. And for questions 21 and 22, we need to choose two letters, A to E. Which two subjects did Martina like best before going to university? Now, some key points here. The options are art, English, French, history and science, and they're probably going to mention all five of them at some point. There will be two people speaking, and it might be helpful to know that Martina is a female name. So if there is a lady's voice, that will be Martina. Also, we need to know what she liked before going to university. So she might talk about something afterwards or something that she didn't like. So listen out for the distractors. Let's listen to this section and find out which two subjects she liked.
Oh, hi George. How's it going?
Hi Martina, it's going well. How about you? How's university life?
Well, it's great. Apart from the studying, of course.
Yeah, me too. What are you studying? I seem to remember that you were going to do art. That was your best subject, wasn't it?
No, not really. I just liked the teacher. He was French and had an amazing accent. My favourite subject was history, but I couldn't see what career that would give me.
Oh, right. So what did you choose?
Well, I found it really difficult to decide. I was really good at science, but I must admit, I never really enjoyed studying it. So, in the end, I decided to opt for English, which was my second favourite subject, and I thought it would be more useful to me than studying anything else. So, that's what I'm doing.
Okay, hopefully you got two subjects there which you liked. They did mention all of them, but interestingly they said that French was not a subject, but it was the nationality of one of her teachers. So the boy thought that she liked art best, but she said no. Actually, she liked history best. So we can choose D as one of our favourite subjects. There we go. And then she also said that she was good at science, but she didn't enjoy it. So she decided to study her second favourite subject, which was English. So those were the two answers we should have gone for, D and B. And in this case, on the answer sheet, it doesn't matter if you put B as 21 or 22 and D as 21 or 22. You can put them both down in any order. The next section, questions 23 to 26, we're going to complete a summary about George's experience of university, and we can fill in the blanks with no more than 2 words. So it might be 1 word, might be 2 words. Let's look at the summary first of all. George, that's the name of the male voice that you could hear. George is studying mechanical engineering, which involves several disciplines. Disciplines are different parts to the subject or different subjects. He is finding what the most difficult. So this is going to be the name of a subject or an area of study that he finds difficult. At the moment, his course is mainly what? 24. What could it mainly be? Then he will soon have an assignment which involves a study of what? Right, so it's a mechanical engineering assignment, studying what specifically. And then he thinks there are too many something and would like less of them. So what does he think there are too many of? Let's listen to the next section and find those missing words.
How are you finding university?
Well, it's a bit of a challenge, I suppose.
Are you finding it difficult?
Well, some of it. I'm doing mechanical engineering, which is really interesting, but it covers quite a lot of areas, like materials science, machine design, physics, and of course mechanics, and they're all fine. But it's maths that I'm struggling with. It's a lot harder than it was at school.
Okay, so for number 23, he said that he's struggling with something and something that he finds the hardest. The answer was maths. So he mentioned a few different areas, different disciplines that were all fine, but maths is the most difficult for him. Next section.
It all sounds very difficult to me. But then I never was very good at mechanical things. I suppose it must involve some practical work.
Well, not at the moment. Currently, it's nearly all theory, so it's a bit heavy going.
Right, so he said nearly all, which is another way of saying mainly. And nearly all what? She said practical, and he said no, not practical. The opposite of practical is theory. So his course is mainly theory, and that means like classwork, listening to ideas, reading textbooks, this kind of thing, rather than doing practical experiment and hands-on work. On to number 25.
I guess you need to start with that so that you can get a grasp of the concepts and learn a few facts before you start putting it into practice. It must be a lot different to the course that I'm taking.
Yes, but in a few weeks we'll be having a lot more practical experience. In fact, I've got a great assignment this term working on jet engines, which means I'll be going on a few field trips to a nearby airport.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, we've got the answer to 25 here. So we heard the word assignment. That is a key word there that we need to look out for. And a study of what? He said he needs to go to an airport, but he's not studying the airport. He's studying jet engines or plane engines. So he thinks that's going to be good. The assignment, study of jet engines. And let's on to the last one here.
It sounds like you're going to be very busy.
Yes, I'm not sure how I'm going to cope with the work. We have a lot of lectures, and that's fine. The lecturers are very knowledgeable, and I learn a lot from them. But we also have a lot of seminars, and I find with so many people expressing their views, it can get quite frustrating. It would be better if we didn't have so many of those.
Yes, it's the same for me.
Right, he said there's a lot of lectures. Lectures are the word for university classes, but he said that's fine. Too many here is a negative thing, so which one does he think is bad? He said that there were also a lot of seminars and would like less of them. So seminar is kind of like a class, but more where you discuss something. Maybe it's done in groups. He prefers the lectures. So seminars is right there. That's quite a tricky word to spell, and it's quite high level vocabulary as well. Okay, we are now going to move on to questions 27 to 30. These ones are multiple choice, A, B or C. So, number 27, Martina thinks the students at her university are what? Sociable, intelligent or energetic? This is tricky because they could all be true. Sociable means they like to make friends, intelligent, very clever, energetic, they have a lot of energy. Number 28, George hopes that his tutor will help him A, lose his shyness, B, settle into university, or C, get to know his subject better. Again, all of these are possible. They might talk about what other people will help him do, or what he doesn't need any help doing, but which one will his tutor help him with? Number 29, what does Martina know about her first assignment? Does she know the topic, the length, or the deadline? So presumably she doesn't know the other two. And number 30, George would like to live where? In a hall of residence, in a flat on his own, or with a host family. He will probably discuss all three and then choose his favourite one. Let's listen to these ones.
How are the students at your place?
Well, I haven't really met anyone yet. They all seem a bit quiet.
Perhaps they're working hard. They don't appear to be very studious here, but they are very friendly. I must say, I've been doing a lot of sitting around and chatting over the last week or so.
Well, that's good.
Okay, for this one, she says she's been doing a lot of sitting around and chatting. Everyone is very friendly. She said they're not very studious, which means they don't work very hard. The best answer here seems to be sociable. Now, it's not to say that they're not intelligent or energetic, but the one that she said was sociable. Next.
The only person I've spoken to really is my tutor. He's very approachable and seems to understand how difficult it can be starting university.
It's good to have someone you can talk to, and he may help you meet other students.
Actually, that doesn't bother me. I'm bound to get to know some people sooner or later. It's more a question of finding out what I need to do, where to go, and so on. I hope he can help me with that.
Oh, I would have thought so.
Right, this is a bit of a tricky one. So he didn't mention anything about getting to know his subject better, and really the tutor wouldn't really be about that. But he hopes that he can help him know his way around and get used to where he is. He says he doesn't need much help meeting people, so B is the correct answer here. 29.
Well, we certainly have a lot of work ahead of us. It seems like a long time, doesn't it? Studying for 3 years.
Yes, it does. But I'm sure it'll go quickly. You know, I'm really dreading the first assessment.
Yes. For the course I'm doing, we have to hand our first one in at the end of next month.
Really? So, have you got the topic yet?
No, but we'll get it soon. I'm not sure how much we have to write yet. Not too much, I hope.
I know what you mean.
Right. For this one, she said their first assessment is due at the end of next month. So if it's due at the end of next month, that is the deadline. She said she doesn't know the topic yet or how long it needs to be, but she does know the deadline. And number 30.
And it's hard to study, especially where I am now.
Oh, where are you living?
I'm living in a hall of residence. I thought that would be a good idea, as there'd be a lot of people around, but I'm finding it a bit noisy. I can see that I'm going to have problems when I really need to get down to some work.
So, I guess you need to be somewhere on your own then?
Yes. Well, I do like to have some people around me, so I'd prefer to live with a family somewhere, in a house not too far from the university.
Well, good luck with that.
Yes, thanks. And good luck to you as well.
Okay, so he currently lives in a hall of residence, but he doesn't like it. She suggested a flat on his own, but he said he would prefer to live with a family. So C is the correct answer there. Right, let's just have a look at the answer page again. And there we can see for 21 and 22, D and B in any order. Now for number 23, I wrote maths. You could also write math. That's the American way of saying it. Or you could write the full word mathematics. They're all acceptable. Number 24, you could write theory or theoretical. Number 25, we have jet engines. 26 is seminars. And then we had A, B, C, C in the multiple choice section, and we put A, B, C, C, so that is correct. Well, that is the end of section 2 of the listening test. How did you get on with that? Join us again for another video, but for now, thank you very much, good luck with your English, and goodbye for now.